Some of my earliest memories are of my parents teaching me how to cook in the kitchen, as I'm sure many others have similar memories. My parents knew it was an important skill for me to learn as I would grow up and move out of the house and need to feed myself and eventually my family. I always had a love for food, but the most memorable foods were consumed on New Year's Eve. That day was filled with hours and hours of cooking and preparing a wide variety of finger foods and snacks in preparation for the guests to arrive. As I continued to grow up, I still helped my parents in the kitchen occasionally, but my first introduction to a cooking class was in middle school. It was a beginner class, and I never actually took the class, but my brother did, and I was always exposed to the various foods that he would cook in that class. I can always remember getting out of class, walking into the hallway, and smelling the foods that they would cook. I was always wishing that I could be in that class and eat all the savory, salty, and sweet foods that they had on a weekly basis. High school was a really big deal for me. Freshman year was the first time that I took a culinary class. Our school offered four different courses for all 4 years, each advancing in difficulty, technique, and precision. I was fortunate enough to take three of these classes, and I was able to skip the third class to go straight to the fourth and most advanced class. This is where the fun really began. I was able to join a small catering team, as seen on the picture on the left, in which we provided food for school board officials at their celebration. I can remember that day being very full and stressful, as we needed to prepare all the food that the day of and feed many, many people. The day started early, all preparing food in the school before the sun came up and ended very late as we cleaned up the venue. We were able to pull it off with flying colors and gain recognition in the local news for our delicious foods. In my senior year of high school, I was able to participate in the ProStart competition. This is an advanced competition in which teams of up to 4 people have 1 hour to prepare a full themed 3-course meal with no running water and no electricity. This is my team here on the left, and these three dishes are entree, appetizer, and dessert. That day was very stressful. My team and I had been practicing every day for months leading up to the competition, and we had a chef as our mentor. We were all stressed and anxious for the competition. I have no clue how we were able to cope with the stress of the audience, chefs, and other officials. Once our time had started, we were able to see that all of our practice was worth it, and we kicked into gear. I honestly can't really remember much from when the timer started to when our time was up. It's all a blur at this point, but all I know is we pulled it off and we did very well. If it were not for the virus outbreak, my team should have gone to the national competition. Through this experience, I was able to see that hard work will always pay off, and if we want to accomplish anything great in life, even something that seems impossible at first, if we dedicate ourselves to it, we can do anything.